All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Today, I don't really have a place outside that isn't too cold, so I'm doing it here in my gym. I'm going to call it a mat chat. I'm stealing that from the typical mat chats used in martial arts. Anyways, is where we usually sit down, and usually it's done with kids, talk about various ethical things or philosophical things, before we start doing class. So I'm kind of this kind of an ode to that. So here I am. I'm in my basement gym, and I got a couple things I want to talk about. Now, one of them is my jiu-jitsu professor recently put together a video about staying in a positive frame of mind. I wanted to expand on that, and it was a good video. His YouTube is Fudochi. I think it's like Fudochi BJJ. You should be able to Google just Fudochi and be able to find it. And so it's a pretty good video. I like a lot that he had to say, so I'm not going to touch on that much because you can go to his video and see that. What I would like to add, though, is kind of a little bit of a story. The day that video came out was day where we went in and it was an open mat instead of a normal class, so I just rolled with whoever. And I rolled with a young kid who's extremely physically adept, and he's picking it up pretty good. So, I rolled well, but not as well as I wish. And then the guy that I rolled with after that's been a training partner of mine for a long time, and he's one of our he's our best competitor right now in the school. So it should be understandable that I get smashed by him, but I usually hold my own a lot better, and I must have been off my game, and I got just utterly manhandled by this young man, and it's easy to just be told, you know what, Treyvis, he's like 11 years younger than you, remember what you were at that age? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not old. But it's easy to just be like, okay, he's really good, and, but sometimes that's not enough, to stay in a good frame of mind. And furthermore, earlier in that day, I had a shouting match with one of my neighbors about driving too fast through the neighborhood, and he acted like he wanted to get out and fight. And I think that actually may have had an effect. This is why controlling your emotions is such an important thing in martial arts. I think that had a huge effect on that, on how my day went after that. And it was the first time after that rolling session that I've truly felt discouraged. And I really felt discouraged. I was like, man, am I ever going to really get this? Am I even getting any better? What's the deal, So what I'd like to add on top of things like breathing and meditating, which I do every day, I would also like to add that it's also easy to be a monk on a mountain. And I know that my professor was not trying to sound like a monk on a mountain, but what a lot of people also should understand is sometimes if you are only going so far as being able to not be in a bad mood, sometimes that's okay, because that's nature. It's easy to sit down and meditate and breathe when I'm in my basement or in my backyard or my nice garden with my fountain going or whatever. It's so easy. I can control my emotions there, but then the real world hits, and sometimes you're going to be fighting that day just understand that it's a victory as well if you've had a bad day and all you manage to do is to be cordial. You should try to be better. You should try to be in a positive mindset, but at the very least, try to understand that you sometimes are only going to be it's going to be a blessing not to be in a negative mindset. Furthermore, sometimes if you can't manage to be in a positive mindset, you're already in a bad mood. So if you're really self-aware about that, you might actually be more mad at yourself for not being in a positive mindset, and that might compound the issue. So that's why I say on those days, you got to understand that simply managing to not be in a negative mindset and to be in a neutral state is plenty okay. Because then you're going to actually stay in that neutral state as opposed to getting mad at yourself for not being in a positive state. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. My professor's video is really good. Should check that out. I would, I think I think what he has to say in his YouTube videos deserves a lot more traction than it gets. And I'd like to see more people hop onto there, and especially in this day and age, it's very, that sort of thing is very hard to get around. So what I need to understand right now in my training to kind of put you into my position is I need to understand that I'm running a business, I got a family, and as much as martial arts is and always has been a way of life for me, I need to, right now is a point in time in my life where I need to take the principles I learned in martial arts, I need to apply them to other things. And really how good I'm doing on the mat is just how good I'm doing on the mat. It needs to just be what it is, and I can't be letting it bother me too much, because everyone I'm rolling with is half my age. Not everyone, but a lot of the people I'm rolling with is 10, 11 years younger than me, or even like that first kid was actually half my age, literally. And there's going to be an ebb and flow anyways, so it's got to be I need to tell myself that, look, the way I'm rolling is just the way I'm rolling, and that's the way it is. Try to get better, obviously, but it needs to be okay wherever I'm at. That also needs to be okay too. And that I need to I kind of need to focus on other things anyways. Another thing I'd like to chime in on is all of this police brutality stuff. I think that there's a video recently, I'm going to share it on my social media. I think it would be a good idea for maybe you to, if you're a listener, to go ahead and Google it. It's Jocko Willink recently chimed in on the police brutality issue, and I'm not going to go over too much of that again. Go to that video, but I think that hits a lot of great points. The point that I would like to make is that there are so many videos that when I actually just watch the video and then maybe I look into what the story is a little bit, I find that I don't see a lot of reason to see that it's racially charged other than the race of the victim. I see zero reason to think it was actually racially charged. And while I do believe that any time that is happening, and I do know that there is racism out there and we should attack it, what I'm saying is if we are finding racism in everything that could even be possibly seen as racist, even in if we're looking too hard to find that, we will miss the actual things that are wrong. And a lot of these videos about police brutality, the people, sometimes it's that they're trying to kill the person or have some animosity to it, but sometimes that's not even the case at all. Sometimes it's obviously that they are not allowed to do the techniques that would be, that as a martial artist, I know to be extremely safe and effective. Things like neon belly is now not allowed in a lot of police departments. Carotid chokes, it used to be at one point in time, that's what was going to happen if you got in a fight with the cops. You were going to get choked out and then you were going to go to sleep and then wake up in the car later. And because of the way that happened through bad training, there has been an outlawing or near outlawing of those kinds of chokes. So now you're actually forcing, now the techniques being taught and implemented kind of force them into bad positions where unjustified shootings and impact, brain damage, other ways of subduing them are implemented, and they're even worse techniques. So I think that there does need to be an overhaul of some sort, but we need to actually look at what the real problem is. And if we're so held up on whether or not this happened because of the people maybe being racist, I'm not saying don't if it's apparent. What I'm saying is don't let it cloud our judgment on the real issues, because there's a lot of them where it's the techniques or the tools implemented more so than the actual intentions of the officers and or racial issues. I see a lot of times it's not even, I don't even see a reason to think that they're racially charged, even though I know that plenty of times they are. Please understand that I'm not trying to deny racial issues in police brutality. What I'm saying is if we are focusing on that so much that we miss the other points and the other things that in fact are probably killing a lot more people, period. So I think that we need to make sure that we're looking at everything objectively and just saying, hey, this is what it actually is. Let's break it down. Does this person actually seem to hate this person? Does this person actually want to kill this person? Let's look at that and then go from there, as opposed to just looking at the fact that it was a black person that died. We need to look exactly what happened and actually see it for what it is, and not let our personal fears and worries cloud our judgment. Anyways, have a good day, everybody. That was a short little episode. I'm hoping to get a guest on here soon. I got a couple. It's just basically missed high fives. So have a good day, everyone. Talk to you later.